Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is Lions Den with another news and commentary, and I just found the article and shouts out to the Guardian for this article. They were the ones that interviewing Janet Jackson and the controversy that happened during this interview. Now, they putting words in Janet Jackson's mouth. They're making Janet Jackson as the bad guy, and it's really sad that this is why we should basically listen what Janet was trying to say instead of putting words in her mouth. And this is what they trying to do. They're trying to say, aha! And it's not even the case. So let's read this article. But here's the thing: they never talk about politics until the interview did. Let's begin with this because this is important. First, they were talking about now. What you about to read? This is like the Rhythm Nation album. They talk about the Rhythm Nation album at first. Politics didn't even wasn't discussed at first, right? So I'm going to go ahead and read it, and then I'm going to read what the interview asked Janet Jackson and what's Janet Jackson's response to what the interview was saying. So here it is. So it says on the Rhythm Nation album, for us, it was about making a difference in a kid's life, a teenager's life, from them taking this path with drugs and going down the wrong street to trying to make something for themselves. Now, Janet Jackson's response to the Rhythm Nation album from the interviewer. Okay, so this is the quote in the middle of it said, what they supposedly say, Kamala Harris is not black. That's what I heard. Okay, so the interviewer continued to say in the article, it says, on that record, she sang about joining voices in protest to social injustice and pushing toward a world rid of color lines. I wonder where she stands on the forthcoming election. After all, I said, America could be on the verge of voting in its first black female president, Kamala Harris. Now, this is the interview saying this. So, this is what the interview asked, and okay, so this is what Janet Jackson actually said. She said, well, you know what they supposedly say. She asked me, she's not black. That's what I heard, that she's Indian. She looks at me expectantly, perhaps assuming that I have an Indian heritage. Talk about the interviewer. Okay, so they said, well, she's both, I offer. So, Janet continued to say is her father's white. That's what I was told. I mean, I haven't watched the news in a few days. She coughs. Now remember when she said she coughs, she was under the weather and then she had had a cold. So she was under the weather. Okay, so she's continuing to say is I was told that they discovered her father was white. I'm floored at this point. It's well known that Harris's father is a Jamaican economist, a Stanford professor who split from her Indian mother when she was 5. My mother understood very well that she was raising 2 black daughters, Harris wrote in her book, The Truth We Told, or The Truth We Hold, excuse me. And I'm going to continue this article in a second, but to me, ladies and gentlemen, all the confusion, all the putting words in Janet Jackson's mouth is totally unnecessary, right? She stated what she heard. She stated her truth, basically. So the article continues to say is the people who are most vocal in questioning the fact of Harris's identity tend to be hardcore Canaan ejaculant, a Trump-loving conspiracy theorist. I don't think Jackson fall. And this is basically the person who did this article. This is the interviewer. So they said the person who are most vocal in questioning the fact of Harris's identity tend to be hardcore Canaan adjacent, Trump-loving conspiracy theorists. I don't think Jackson falls into that camp, but I do wonder what the algorithms are serving her. I start again. Harris has dual heritage. I said, and given this moment, does Jackson think America is ready for her? If we agree she's black, or okay, a woman of color. I don't know, Jackson State whispers. Honestly, I don't want to answer that because I really truthfully don't know. I think either way it goes is going to be a mayhem. She doesn't think there will be a peaceful transition of power. I think there might be mayhem, she falters. Either way it goes, but we have to see. And then the interview continues to say, we have a few minutes left to wrap things up. So I throw some quick fire questions at her while we recalibrate. When I ask what her biggest disappointment is, Jackson flashes back every one of my marriages without missing a beat. Later, she corrected herself to, just the last one when prompted to say what is that she can't stand in other people. She casually brings up her brother Michael to explain how she hates pettiness. We're gonna finish this article in a second, but ladies and gentlemen, when a person trying to put words in Janet Jackson's mouth or misquote what she's saying, and all of that, to me it shows you they basically don't know what they're talking about, or they're just poor reporters. Period. Because all of a sudden now everybody hates Janet Jackson. All the stuff she did. She's saying that she said that Kamala Harris is not a black woman. So basically, they said that they said continue to the later she corrected herself to just the last one when prompted to say what it is that she can't stand in other people. She casually brings up her brother Michael to explain how she hates pettiness and people who fake being nice. It's like Mike said, she explains, when people throw a rock and hide their hands, just starting some drama or pretending to create a scenario to make themselves look better when they are really doing it out of meaningless, not kindness. You know what I mean. Several people from Jackson's team are now hovering by the door. She's on a tight schedule and haven't been feeling well all day. There has been feverish speculation about her private life, I said, and she has been very good at keeping it under wraps, but she has written about coerced control in her relationships. Does she feels she's now able to break the pattern? And it's not the end of the article, but I'm just ending it like that because the interviewer is basically trying to put words in other words, they're trying to put words in Janet Jackson's mouth. And I believe, I believe the guy who interviewed Janet is Indian himself. So that's mainly the reason why she is even questioning Janet the way he did. And again, Janet did not say that Kamala Harris is not not a black woman. Or she said that Kamala Harris's father is white. All she said was she's heard that her father was white. But let's be clear real quick. A lot of people and I read some of y'all in the comment section say, well, read the facts. Kamala's father is Jamaican. Just because her father's Jamaican doesn't necessarily mean he's a black man. Okay? You have other issues. Other nationalities, let's put it like that, other races that lives in Jamaica. And but the thing is, you talk people questioning. Remember, Indians, basically East Indians, they're not considering themselves, they do not identify themselves as black. Matter of fact, most of them have Irish backgrounds, which means they're white, and then they identify themselves as a white person because of their Irish background. So when people questioning about Janet Jackson, saying that Janet Jackson said that Kamala's dad is white, basically they just misquote what the interview is questioning her. And I want people to understand that Janet Jackson doesn't deserve being attacked or being backlash or having cancel culture because some of the stuff, and she's just speaking her truth. She doesn't know. She just heard what she heard. She doesn't watch the news. So when people want to say, Janet Jackson said that Kamala's father's white, No, she never said anything like that. All she said was she heard that Kamala's father was white. And basically, yes, he lives in Jamaica. He's Indian, he's Irish, Indian, Jamaican. Okay? And what Irish is? Caucasian, right? Irish is Caucasian. So basically, y'all don't want to have this conversation. Y'all don't want to have this conversation. But y'all really want to talk about facts, right? That's what Kamala Harris's dad is. He's Irish, Indian, or Jamaican. And then most Indians, especially East Indians, identify themselves as white or Caucasian anyway. Look at the birth certificate. Him and Kamala's mother had Kamala, they identified themselves as Caucasian. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you think about this. I mean, it shows you that when people talk about distorting the facts or you putting words in Janet Jackson's mouth, they're not being fair, and they're not even read the article, because this is really the actual article. And again, shouts out to the Guardian for this article. The Guardian host interviewing Janet. He was the one asking Janet those questions. Janet didn't really the one to talk about politics. She wanted to talk about her career and everything. But he was the one that brings up the politics in Kamala Harris, not Janet Jackson herself. Let me know what you think about it in the comments.